Hello my friends, thank you for tuning in to the Embody Yourself coaching channel. This is the first video I'm creating, unscripted. I just feel compelled to start sharing some of the insights and experiences that I've been having with tuning into my body a lot more than I ever used to, at least than I did for a long time. So the theme today, the question I want to ask you in this video is, do you know the power of a question? I'm just going to sit with that for a second. Like, what does it feel like when we get asked a question? There's this wonderful analogy of an open hand. One of my favorite teachers, Adyashanti, talks about exchanging and interacting and being with ourselves in an open-handed way. Sometimes it's important to exert some effort, but engaging with other people when we really want to know where someone's coming from and if they want to interact with us, if they want to engage with a project, a process, anything energetically, it's really important, I believe, to give them the opportunity to respond, which is what a question does. If you make a command, if you say, go here, do this, I want that, it's forceful, it might be appropriate sometimes, but it is a very strong energy that might actually push people away. That might be correct for some people to do. Sometimes it might be correct for any of us to do, to assert ourselves. Even as I'm saying it, I can sort of feel this strength, this power that's arising, like, I want this, I must go there, I want that woman, I will go on that trip. But that's also kind of tiring. So the questions, I've really been enjoying having people ask me questions, sitting back and letting something come in the form of a question, an invitation. It's pretty warm in the office right now, so I'm just going with it. Do you know the power of a question for yourself? What does it feel like when someone that you care about asks you, would you like to hang out tonight? Or let's go see a movie? Or where do you want to go for dinner? Do you want Chinese or Thai food? There's that invitation. And another teacher that I know who calls it a dance. When we give each other the opportunity to respond and engage, there is something that's being created in this moment that doesn't exist until we both have a chance to say, yeah, okay, yeah, and then actually check in with each other. Because the body-based nature of responding to a question is really what I'm interested in. Can you feel like in your gut, the video doesn't go low enough right now, but I have my hand on my belly, and actually even lower than the belly, it's the sacrum or the dantian. It's this center where like all of the idealized, stylized comic book characters, when they create that energy ball and they launch it at somebody, it's really coming from that center of power. And whether or not you believe in that energy, and whether you can create fireballs or not, I can't. Literally, that's probably a good thing. So I probably burn a lot of people and get burned by a lot of people. But feeling, what does a question feel like? That's interesting. I like that. That doesn't appeal to me right now. Or, that's intriguing. I don't know if I want to do that or not right now. So let me get back to you. I'm interested, or I'm not sure how I feel. But there's that asserting, even if somebody doesn't ask us a question, asking them, say, would you mind rephrasing that so I have a chance to respond to that instead of saying, commanding me or directing me? It's about respect. It's about how do you have fun interacting with people, even if it is especially if it's a work situation, because work needs to be fun, or if there's some tension. So this could go in all different kinds of directions, but the main point that I wanted to offer is how important a question can really be. In certain situations, I've been finding, having done the suspension business that I have for over 6 years, that I used to want to assert what I knew. When I was learning, it was important to say, this is what I'm aware of, this is what I've done. So there's a lot of that me, I, here, you take this, learn, digest. And it gets tiring for me to keep having to talk, especially if I'm coming from a head place. It doesn't feel grounded, and I don't feel like I'm really connecting to somebody. And that's really important to me. And I believe deep down, for any of us to have a meaningful exchange, we want to feel like two people or a whole group, which is lots of individuals that create a collective, are all able to join together and agree on something, to have accord, d'accord in French. I don't speak French, but I know that word, d'accord. It's like, I agree, so to come into accord. So the questions to my customers help me to know what they want. And then I can say, well, this is what I have. Or you may know some of what I have. Thank you for answering my questions. Like, what do you want to do with your car? Where are you interested in driving it? What have you owned? What have you liked? What haven't you liked? I don't mean to say I'm going to take an hour with each person, because I know how to ask very targeted questions. And so a question that can be very incisive is extremely powerful. Like, what do you want out of life? We got asked that in high school, but sometimes we don't get asked that, or we don't ask ourselves that. What do we want right now? What feels good in this moment? So it's part of a whole series about how do you tune into your body and know how your body wants to lead you with questions. Do you want to step into something like, yeah, that's appealing, I like that, or no, I'm not really, I don't want it. And so it's very much of a dynamic thing. And especially when we spend a lot of time sitting down, just at our desks, watching TV, just getting up and sort of pacing with a question, something is going on, and asking yourself, asking each other. And most people, and I'll talk about this in other videos too, most people are actually designed to ask each other questions and to trust the nonverbal, guttural gut response, which is a sound. It's not, for most people, it's really not about speaking, because it's so easy for that to become a, what do they think I want? What do I think they want me to say yes or no to? What is this boss, person, teacher, person on the street? What am I convincing myself of that's not really true? That's so easy to go into a head place. But when you tune in and give yourself the ability and the right to take your time, to say I don't know if you don't know, to say no if you really don't, and to own your yes, to say yeah, I want to, and to let that yes shape over time. Because like the ocean's not always calm or peaceful. It sometimes has storms, and things will shift and move, and we have internal storms that we need to be attending to. So being with a question, how do I feel about that person? Do I really want to go to that party? Giving yourself some time to feel into it. That way you really get a deeper experience. And it's really wise to wait. I used to never wait for a lot of things, and I caused all kinds of accidents. Half the scars on my face and on my body are from me just being super impulsive. Sometimes it's fun to just, jump off a rock and see if you can land on 2 feet, or maybe you break something. I've done enough of that. It's also fun to be more truthful, which means to slow down sometimes. And then actually when you allow yourself to slow down, then the question is like, do I want to do that right now? Then it's almost, you're rising to the occasion, and you're going to jump into action when it's really right. So, do you know for yourself the power of a question? Thanks for watching.